to the very first episode of the Bane Broadcast. I am Bane, and joining me is my loyal second in command,
Derek, just Derek.
Derek. Really? Of all the aliases to choose, you pick. Whatever. So, to get to the plan, this show is designed to offer something new to the people of Gotham. There are many radio talk shows, but only we have the advantage of real-time interviews with famous Gotham celebrities, while others focus on trifling matters such as news, politics, and crime rates. But we aim simply to entertain you with the musings of people whom nobody outside of Gotham City would have heard of. Thus, the Bane broadcast will not discuss such petty topics, except when they directly concern our guests.
And everyone wants to listen to politicians and rich people, don't they?
Of course.
You're doing this to feed your mother, Derek.
Calm down, Derek. Now's not the time for sarcasm. That comes later. Anyhow, tonight we have a fantastic show for you, our audience. And not, as nobody would have thought, our stagehands. Tonight, we have a most special celebrity. The one and only Mr. Bruce Wayne. Now, you are perhaps wondering why Mr. Wayne, so notorious for avoiding constructive frivolity, would agree to our offer.
Constructive frivolity?
Indeed, but as it happens, Mr. Wayne decided to help our show get on its feet, so to speak, and accepted the opportunity to be interviewed. And so, let the interview begin. Mr. Wayne, thank you for coming.
I'm glad to be here.
That'll soon change.
Now, Derek, be kind to our guest. Mr. Wayne, to begin, I must say how deeply honored we are to have you as our first guest. Everyone else refused to talk to us. Why exactly did you consent to this?
Well, as I told you over the phone, which I might add was kind of a hassle as that mask of yours makes it hard enough to hear you in person, but over a phone, Christ, like asthmatic cats bludgeoning old people. But anyways, as I told you, I think this is the radio show Gotham deserves. Not exactly the one it needs, but still, this town deserves something more. Something that can put a smile on our faces. And besides, who doesn't love interviews with celebs, especially ones like me?
You certainly are a character, Mr. Wayne. That is true.
As are you, from what I've heard.
I've been called far worse.
Did that man on the plane ever press charges?
What?
It does not matter what happened. What matters is this interview.
Right, sorry.
Moving on, I would like to discuss a particular topic with you. I am curious as to your position on the infamous Batman.
Oh, here we go. That's an original question.
I've already given my position on Batman. A guy who dresses up like that has got some serious issues.
When did you give that position?
Oh, right, sorry. That was just at a hotel I bought. I wonder whatever happened to that place.
I think there were just some changes to the pooling area.
Oh, that's right. God, that was a night to remember.
Nevertheless, I'd like very much to hear you reiterate your views.
Or what? You're not gonna break my back or anything, are you?
Why, Mr. Wayne, you take me for a brute. I am not as thuggish as that. Do you perhaps think me a mere lackey for the likes of botanical femme fatales and Austrian geisha people?
Who in their right mind would think that?
Believe me, you don't want to know.
But Mr. Wayne, if I may request one thing from you tonight, I would like to hear your expert opinion on the Caped Crusader.
Fine then. Like everyone else, I've heard the story about how he killed Harvey Dent and all that.
Who was a close friend of yours, was he not?
Yes, yes, he was. But back to what I was saying. The Batman supposedly killed Harvey, and I'll admit, that really pissed me off. Harvey was what this city needed. A hero with a face, not some wacko behind a mask. And then said wacko goes and murders him? Yeah, it's a tragedy, and one that I wish I hadn't lived to see. I was saying it all along, that the Batman was someday gonna totally lose it and kill someone important. And I was absolutely right.
Well, it wouldn't be the first instance of a dark person killing a white person.
Did you seriously just say that?
What? This is late night radio. In a few minutes, we're going to cut to an advertisement of some bimbo asking all the single men of America if they'd like to masturbate for the 30th time today.
I'll have you know that Ford is a very generous sponsor.
Look, I think we've just come to accept the fact that the Caped Crusader really was just a glory hound, out to satisfy his own hatred of crooks, and make the papers while doing it. And before we forget, all kinds of people were accusing Harv of corruption, and so it would make sense that the Batman would kill him based on those rumors. That's what vigilantes do. They make judgment calls, and act on them without regards for the law itself. Gotham needs people like Dent, or James Gordon, to keep it safe. Not a guy with a flying rodent obsession.
Bats are not rodents, Mr. Wayne.
Whatever.
Well, that was a most interesting take on the infamous Dark Knight. Now, to make the discussion even livelier, we have a caller on the line. Hello there. What is your name?
Hi, my name's Richard.
And what do you have to say on this matter, Richard?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell Mr. Wayne how wrong he is. You think you know what the Batman's motives were, do you? You think you can perform how did you put it, judgment call? What makes you so certain Batman didn't have a good reason for killing Dent?
Well, to be blunt, what makes you so certain he did? Batman seems like the kind of guy who'd kill someone just for. Help me out here. What's the common expression?
For the evils?
That'll work too. But yeah, you were saying, Dick?
I think you ought to know, Mr. Wayne, that I grew up in the Narrows. I was there during that big toxic gas fiasco. And you know what? I came this close to being beaten up by a bunch of escaped Arkham inmates. But the Batman saved my life. He rescued me from those freaks. And to this day, I say the Batman is, deep down, a hero. He's what this city needed, not some stuck-up politician like Dent, who, for all we know, really was corrupt.
I see. Well, everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
You think I'm wrong? What gives you the right to pass judgment on the Dark Knight, Mr. Moneybags? You sit in your fancy mansion all day with not a care in the world, and for what I've heard, you're quite the womanizing scoundrel, too. Yeah, you sure are a paragon of good yourself.
Mr. Bane, maybe we ought to wrap this up.
Not yet, Derek. I want to see where this goes.
Look, Richard, I really think you're missing the point here. Batman is a guy dressed up like a bat. That kinda implies some serious mental problems. I'm not surprised in the slightest that he killed Harvey. He was bound to crack eventually. Why is that so hard to realize? And as for the Batman saving your skin during the Narrows incident, sure, maybe he took pity on some random schmuck and decided to help him out.
Some random schmuck?
Oh, lighten up. What are you, Jewish?
And you call me racist, Bane?
Oh, I'm sure Mr. Wayne is only speaking in jest.
Yeah, in jest and in the money trough.
Now is not the time for...
Yeah, I'm all ominous and important. But just let the games end, will you?
Oh, no, you don't. I think Mr. Wayne has to answer a very important question. Why would someone made an orphan by the scum of Gotham object to the actions of a man who has devoted himself to taking them down?
Well, I think Mr. Richard has made his point. And a very sharp one it was too, wasn't it, Mr. Wayne?
It was.
Derek, would you be so kind as to bring Mr. Wayne a glass of water after we're done? His voice sounds dry. But anyhow, thank you, Richard, for your time.
You haven't heard the last of me, Wayne. You hear me?
Not anymore. But anyhow, Mr. Wayne, I must thank you again for your cooperation. We were honored to have you with us. And now we come to the end of our first episode. I'd say it was a great success. Don't you think so, Derek?
We've got 2 more segments.
To our audience, I thank you for your time and hope you will tune in to our next wonderful interview. Until then, the fire rises!